Hi, James. Uh,
Hi, Carolina.
it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Just go ahead, introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So, hi, everyone. My name is James Benoit. I'm the school director of LSI Toronto. I've been working here now since the beginning of 2017. So, we're coming up to about 6 years, I guess. Yeah, starting next year. Yeah, and I've been working in the English language field for quite a long time now, for about 22 years. I started as a teacher teaching overseas in a few different countries. Spent a long time overseas teaching, and then I developed some experience as an academic manager in one of those jobs, and worked at one school for about 7 years in South Korea in that role. And then I returned to Canada. I worked for a different language school at first, but then I moved over to LSI in 2017, and very happy to be working here.
We're very happy there, the director too, because it's
Thank you.
very easy going and it's very nice to have your support. Can you tell us a
Thank you.
little bit about the school capacity? How many classrooms do you have?
Sure. Yeah. So, well, first of all, our school is located on the second and the third floor of the building that we're in. Actually, LSI, we own this building, which is nice. So we have, we're able to manage the building and, have some control, right, over the facilities here. On the second floor, we have 13 classrooms. We have a fairly spacious lobby as well, where students can hang out. We can do some activities there. And sometimes, yeah, have events or students can watch movies or play games there as well. Yeah, of course, we have a room for our teachers. We have several offices for our administration staff. But yeah, we have 13 good-sized classrooms. And then on the third floor, we have access to up to an additional 5 classrooms, actually. So in total, we can have access to of up to 18 classrooms. Yeah.
That's very nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your staff? Like, who are those teachers?
Sure. Yeah. So right now we have, let's see, about 9 teachers on staff. And many of those teachers have been here for quite a long time, even before the pandemic, which is great. It's great that we were able to bring them back after we had closed, during that difficult time. But we also have some newer teachers as well that we hired, when we reopened our school, which started last summer the summer of 2021. And yeah, our teachers, there's a wide variety of them. Almost all of them are Canadian, but we do have a British teacher as well. So, there can be a little bit of a mix of accents, right, for English pronunciation sometimes, which I think is good for students. And the teachers range in ages from, late 20s, up to, people in their 50s. And a lot of them have different backgrounds and experiences, right? But all of them have at least completed a bachelor's degree in university, and they have to have a teaching certificate, a recognized teaching certificate, like a CELTA or a TESOL certificate, for example. And yeah, and all of them have at least some experience, at least a couple of years of experience when they start here.
Great.
Yeah.
How about the courses that the
Sure.
school
So
offers? And can you say a little bit about the start dates, how all this happens?
yeah, no problem. So, yeah, for our courses, we do have a variety, but most of our students take either a general 20 course, that's like a general English course, or they'll take an intensive course. Yeah, so the difference is that with the general course, they'll just be studying classes in the mornings, focusing on general English, all skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, and vocabulary. And we do use textbooks in those classes partly. Right now, we use books that are published by Oxford or National Geographic. One series is called English File, and the other series is called Life, and that one's published by National Geographic. Yeah, and every week, students do a different unit. We'll focus on different topics, themes, and different language targets and skills. We also have a test every week in the class, usually on Fridays, like a unit test. And we do bigger progress tests every 6 weeks or 12 weeks, depending on the situation. Yeah, and so yeah, that's the general English program. But some students, they want to study full time, right? So they'll study in the morning and the afternoon. So yeah, if they want to do that, they can register for an intensive program and they can take some extra classes, some elective classes in the afternoons. So yeah, for that, they can choose usually between speaking classes where they'll focus more on just conversation and pronunciation skills. Or they can take academic English classes, right? As long as they're high enough in level to do that. So that will help them prepare for writing and speaking, like in a college setting, for example. Or we often offer business English too. So if people want to focus on professional English and workplace English, they can take that. Um, yeah, and yeah, we also have exam preparation classes. Like if students want to take an IELTS exam, TOEFL, or sometimes Cambridge, we can offer those classes as well.
Um,
Um,
Regarding the start date, how
yeah,
does
oh
it work?
yes, sure. So for almost all of our programs, students can start on any given Monday, right? So we have a week-to-week orientation and intake of new students. And we also have students who are graduating every week as well, right? I mean, some students will study here for just, 2, 3, or 4 weeks. Other students, they could study here for up to a year or even longer. So we get all kinds of, different students of different backgrounds, and they have different goals and interests. Yeah, but almost all the programs a student can start on any Monday. The only exception might be for if a student is beginner level, like just starting
Really?
from scratch, then they can start every second month. Yeah, it's posted in our
Okay.
brochure, but they can start every second month um, on the first Monday of the month. Yeah, and we do have a few other specialized programs too, like English for Law or English for Medicine, which we just run usually in the summer and the winter. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but that's it. I mean, other than that, it's quite flexible, when students can start.
Yeah, that's really great. And what can you tell us about this school? Where is located? I know it's in downtown Toronto, but
Yeah.
from like a point of view of somebody that have never been to Toronto,
Right.
how we get to the school? How easy is the access?
Sure. Well, the access is very easy, fortunately, because so yeah, we're located just sort of on the edge of downtown Toronto, like kind of the beginning of it. We're in a neighborhood called Rosedale, which is a really nice neighborhood. It's actually one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Canada, so really nice houses. And the street that we're on, Yonge Street, is one of the biggest streets in Toronto. It's actually one of the longest streets in the world, funny enough. Um, yeah, and we're close to a subway station called Rosedale Subway Station. And that station is just one stop north from the major intersection of stations between our two major subway lines. So the benefit for students is that if they're staying somewhere north or east or west of the downtown center, um, yeah, they're all, we're all within a good distance, put it that way, no matter where students are staying. And it's easily accessible by subway and buses.
Very nice. James, if a Brazilian student is coming to study at your school, where they can stay? Like,
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So, we do offer accommodation services for students. So if they don't want to find, a place on their own, the most popular option that students would choose with us is a homestay, right? To stay with a host family. It's a fairly affordable, and if they stay with a host family, they can get some support from the family that they're staying with. They can practice more English with them. Yeah, and they can have some meals provided if they don't want to cook for themselves. So yeah, that's the most popular option for our students. And, we're always trying to recruit new host families, and, we go through a careful process with them. We do ask them to do criminal record checks, and we inspect the homes and, make sure it's a comfortable place and that it's safe for students. And we do try to get host families that, of course, aren't too far away from the school. But, Toronto, it's a very big city. It's very spread out. So, you know, and we don't really have too many host families downtown, because downtown it's just all condos and apartments. And young people live downtown, right? Not really families. But we have host families that are anywhere from like 10 or 15 minutes all the way up to about 45 or 50 minutes away by public transit. I'd say on average, students can expect to take about 30 to 40 minutes to travel to the school on public transit. But the system is convenient and safe and everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's the most popular option, host families. But we do work with some local residences as well. So if students want to stay in more of like kind of a dormitory or an apartment style option, that can be possible too, just depending on if it's available. We have the most options for residences in the summertime because we get access to university or college dormitories then. So yeah.
Thank you. We only hear positive feedbacks from students that attend the school, but for potential students, why they should choose LSI Toronto? What would make you guys like a unique school?
Sure. No, thanks. That's a great question. So, honestly, the programs that we offer, right? I mean, we offer similar programs to many other, English language schools out there, right? All of us offer more or less the same types of general English or intensive courses or specialized courses, right? But what I think makes us stand out and what makes us more unique, well, actually two things. I mean, first, we really pride ourselves on the quality of the teachers that we have. Our teachers are happy to work here, right? They feel it's a good environment, and I think they really show that to the students. And the great thing about our teachers too is that we try to ensure that they're not just going to focus on a textbook in the class, right? We want them to be dynamic and energetic, and we want them to really bring activities to life in the classroom, right? And make sure that students can practice using English as much as possible, right? So yeah, students, they will not just be staring at a book, during their lessons. They will be actively speaking or listening or, reading or writing, right? And improving their language skills. So that's the first point. The second point I wanted to make too is that our company LSI, it's a global school, it's international. We have schools in Canada, the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, even France and Switzerland, teaching other languages there. But despite being global, each school is, not too large. It's not too massive, right? So, here in Toronto, we usually have anywhere from about 100 students all the way up to maybe 300 or 350 in the summertime, right? When it can get quite busy. But yeah, but because we're not as big as so many other competitors out there, we have a bit more of like a boutique environment, right? And we can, it's more of a family atmosphere. Our staff, teachers or our administrative staff, we really try to get to know the students. We know their names, especially if they're studying here a long time. And I think because of that, the students can feel more comfortable to talk to us if they have questions, or if they have a problem, that they need to resolve, or, anything. So I really feel we can provide very personal support to the students here. Yeah, because of our size and the atmosphere.
That's great. Thank you so much, James. I really appreciate. And we'll keep in touch. Okay.
Great. No, thank you very much
Bye-bye.
for the opportunity. We appreciate it. Yeah.